Hey, welcome to Hooked on Crochet Stitch and Chat. Sorry, I'm getting used to this. And I gotta get used to that. Turn all that down. Okay, welcome again. This week we're gonna be exploring the Dollar Tree patterns for crochet items, which a lot of people got pretty excited about. I know I did. I went into the store and said, ooh, little crochet patterns, right? Here's a cute little penguin. Well, I learned a little something that I'm gonna share with you today. And the first thing I learned is they are not exactly like they look. So I got a few different ones. The penguin one, the donut. It's hard to see that. The donut one has a picture of a crocheted item on it. The penguin is a picture of an AI crochet item on it. Guess which one produced the actual product in here? Well, I can tell you it was definitely not the penguin. The penguin did not give me anything like this. In fact, with some fiddling about, I came up with some sort of a lump of fabric that I had to invent. It didn't have anything here for the eye cutouts like are shown on the picture. It doesn't tell you to change colors. This actually has you make a white and a black piece and sew them together. And they say sew the crochet. So it's not very, it's not been very well written for sure. And I don't even think it was translated from a crochet pattern, because even average crocheter knows that crochet is pretty common across the world, and even a graph would have been better. So that is not what we made. But with the same pack, you can make this cute little penguin that we are going to make today. And I'll show you. This is the donut from the package. The safety eyes in one of the packages were no good. I've used my own. One of the packages had googly eyes, but no way to adhere them. So again, I used safety eyes on my toys that I created. I had found, if this is a popular thing to do, I'll do more of these, but I did do the owl, and you can tell it's an AI image. So my prediction on that one did come out pretty accurate. And the second one I got was a bumblebee with a picture of an actual crocheted bumblebee. This had an actual pattern that was workable in it. The AI images do not. So don't waste your time unless you just want to get the little kit of stuff and the flimsy crochet hooks, because the crochet hooks are they were really hard for me to use to keep it. It's a little bit finer yarn, maybe a size 3 weight yarn. But I didn't want to leave you guys hanging on a Dollar Tree package that you may have purchased yourself in the past instead of getting a little penguin nugget. Today we're going to make an actual cute penguin. So let's see here. Let me pull up see if this is still working. Am I here? I'm not here. Well, I don't know what happened to our crochet view. Let's see if I can fix that. Technical difficulties. It's showing it. Okay. I'll go ahead and take that one back out and go back in. But we will make this little guy, I promise. In fact, I'm going to go ahead and pull up our pattern page here. Here we go. So it's sort of the quilter's square pattern. Sort of. I went with their general idea and made something cute from it. And I did the same with the owl too. And so if it's light, we can do that as well. Not tonight, but another. All right, let's see if that got me back in here. Oh, here we go. All right. Sorry about that, folks. That was my bag of crochet tricks. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and use my own crochet hook today. I'm going to use a F hook. It's my general go-to hook for crochet is the F hook. I find it makes a decently tight fabric. It doesn't make it too loose so that you don't see holes and stuffing sticking through. And because we're on camera, I am not going to use black today. I'm going to make a lavender penguin. I'm not sure the actual name. And this, I don't think you can see it. But this white that I'm going to use is kind of a soft white. And there's, yeah, there you go. A little sparkle to it, because why not? I've got my own box of 9mm safety eyes. And I've got a bit of yellow for doing little feet and little beaks. So without further ado, let's go ahead and start on our crafter's square sort of penguin. I like to mark my rounds as I go with a piece of yarn, so you'll see a little piece of yarn floating through my work. That's just how I mark my rounds. Okay, so I'm using, for my penguin, I'm using a size 4 yarn, but if you have the kit, go ahead and just pull that all out, and you can use exactly what's in the kit to make what we're making today. It is considered an advanced beginner. I assume you already know basic terms like single crochet, half double crochet, finish off, things like that. Should probably bring the mic a little bit closer today. So let's go ahead and get started with the body of our penguin. So we're going to make a magic ring, and we're going to do 8 single crochet into that ring. Make sure I have this camera where I'll have it. I'm comfortable and you can see. I think we need to, sorry about that. All right. So as always, I do the double loop because I like to make my magic rings nice and tight. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. And then the trick with the double loop is take your short tail, give it a little tug. You find this one little bit gets shorter. Now just pull that shorter loop till it's tight. Then pull your tail, and you've got already a double looped magic ring. Our next round, we're going to do increases. So this is not a joined in the round, although a lot of these crafter square patterns want you to join in the round. I work in the amigurumi style, which is just all keep going, 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 going. So next is 2 in each. So I put my yarn marker down to indicate this is now my second row. Always that first one gives you a bit of trouble. All right. I do the yarn under technique when making crochet instead of the regular yarn over, which is what you use for any crochet. Yarn under and then yarn over out. By doing this, let's see here. So I go, instead of going under it, you put your hook on top of it and pull it through. It makes a slightly tighter stitch when making toys. So that's kind of a trick. So you just do the yarn over, or yarn under, yarn over. Yeah. Yarn under, yarn over. That's my technique. A lot of people do it differently. That gives you pretty straight lines too. Like I said, it gives you a nice tight, nice looking fabric. I know there's a description for it. One of them says one looks like V's and one looks like X's, I want to say. That's probably correct, but I don't remember which is which, and I don't want to guide you improperly on that. But yarn under, yarn over is great for this. Okay. And that should be 16. And it never hurts to double check. 6, 8, 10. Especially when you're me and you're yapping. Okay, so now for those that are understanding this that I'm doing, I take my piece of yarn that's now gone all the way through like this, and I lay it over the top to mark this round, and I'm just going to crochet past that. And we're going to do 1 and then 2 all the way around. So 1 in that first stitch, 2 in the next, and hit repeat. You'll end up with 24 stitches at the end of this round. And I don't believe it's terribly critical, to be very honest with you. If you're off a little bit, don't get mad at yourself. Just keep on going. Because as long as you've expanded and you don't just keep expanding and changing the size after this, it's fine. And here's another 2. If you're here and you're just joining us, that's fine. Just welcome to the stream. I'm just making a crafter's choice penguin today ish, taking a pattern that they didn't quite hit the mark on, and we're doing it. Okay. Now for rounds 4 through 12, we are just going to single crochet regularly, and that is just, we're building this body up right here. Just that's what we're going to do. So it'll start making a tube, and again, I take that yarn, and because it's facing this way, I'm going to move it over there like that, and back to single crocheting. Let's see, 3. So this one I'm doing in lavender, like I said, because it's easier to see on camera. And I'm probably going to give all these toys to my daughter-in-law for, she works for Head Start. I'll probably give them to her. So I might make a few more Christmassy, wintry things and give them to her, and she can pass them out at Christmas time to her students. Or I like to plug all the time Random Acts of Crochet Kindness. You can find them on Facebook. I'm sure there's a lot of other places to find them. I am a member of the group Random Acts of Crochet Kindness USA. We make little things just like this, and we'll maybe put them like in a little baggie with a little note that says, you know, hey, take me home if you like me, just to cheer up somebody. So I like to do that. That's kind of exciting. And then sometimes people post that they found it, and sometimes there's some really good stories in there. And I've even heard some from local people, because I do it locally too. I hide them around town, and especially in the summertime, I try to keep the kids at the parks. So here's round 5 for me. And it takes a little bit of time to get through this. It's all single crochets, as are most toys. You won't find many that use much more than a single crochet, unless it's for like outfits. Or this one we are going to have, I think, halves. I think I put some half double crochets in here just for working on the eyes, but might be doubles. I don't remember. We'll know in a minute. And I'm sorry, I have the sniffles. It's kind of allergy season for me out here. We're on the coast of Oregon. If you're tuning in right now, where are you watching from? And if you're on Facebook, I sadly cannot see any of your comments until afterwards for some reason, but I will see them. I'm starting on my round 6. Boy, burning through it now. Some people are very quick at crochet, and I feel like, oh man, I'm not fast enough. But then I think I'm going quick enough. I think I'm going just the right speed. This Saturday, tonight, as a matter of fact, just a couple hours after this, I'm going to be showing the movie Jaws to anybody who wants to join in. I'll actually have a little thing on the end about my next movie coming up that we'll be screening. But everybody is welcome to join us over in the movie room. My 2 passions, crochet and movies. Love photography. Oh man, I got a few, I guess. I have a few. I think we all do. And I'm on 7. So if anybody's seeing where they're at with my pace, telling me that I'm slow, I just started off 7. My goodness. I think that this is definitely a pattern somebody who had minimal experience could do, as just like my loaf cat, my loaf cat pattern. My children were raised with yarn everywhere, and they didn't really do anything with it. And then recently my daughter said she wanted to pick up crochet, and she said she really wanted to try to make a toy. I said, okay, we can do that. So I wrote a pattern, and this is her little loaf cat. So anybody can crochet their first time out with these patterns, I think. If you just think it through a little bit, and I think you could do it. So this one is pretty much just as simple as a little loaf cat, except there's little bits we have to sew on. So other than that, it's pretty much the same. Let's see, and I'm on 8. So we only got 4 more rounds after this one. And then we're going to start our stuffing and reduction, because the eyes, if you're using safety eyes, we will attach to the body front. So don't worry. I didn't forget that. That will be added at the end, because that can be put onto the body front and then it'll just poke in between the layers of the other fabric. So no worries. No worries. And if you're making this for small children, like real small children in particular, I do not suggest using safety eyes. Certainly don't trust the ones from the Dollar Tree. These ones are glued in. But yeah, safety eyes can be a hazard. So think about that. You can always crochet these, just sew a little couple dots. No big deal. 9. Buzzing through this little penguin. Most of these projects that I'm going to be showing you, unless I have some plans for some bigger ones later on, but most of these projects are things that I think anybody could finish in an afternoon. Maybe if they're real experienced, they could complete them quicker than me, like 30 minutes, 15 minutes. They aren't talking, probably go faster. But I'm trying to kind of make it so that when you leave here after stitch and chat, you got a little something in your hand. Something to say, I did that. I made this. So I hope you enjoy that. And I'm coming up on round, I think, 10 now. Let's see. Getting there. 2 more is all we got on this boy. Getting that little body done there. Man. And if you're using the Quilters or Crafters Square pack, because it's a slightly smaller yarn, I would put it as like a sport weight yarn. Your penguin might be a little bit smaller than mine, and that's okay. You may be able to squeeze 2 of them out of that package. I'm not sure. It's possible. I ended up using just my regular house yarn I have. Okay, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. So this is 11. And if I'm going too fast for you, this will be available to watch later. You can always pause it. Or if I'm going too slow, you can always fast forward. I'm trying to branch out into some other areas. I don't know what would be some other areas to put a show like this. Maybe TikTok? Thinking about it. We'll see. We'll see where we go. All right, round 12, my final round in this grouping of the body of the penguin. Then just a few more bits, some wings, some feet, and a little face body. And you'll have a penguin. Pretty all right. This one could even be used for Valentine's Day with colors like this. All right, almost to the end of my round 12. We'll be moving on to 13, which I think is a Probably going to be a single crochet decrease, or 2 together round. My memory is serving correctly. Right. Yes, single crochet, 2 together round. So we're going to decrease down to 16 in this round. Then we're going to do some stuffing. And for a decrease, I insert my hook. It's an invisible decrease. I insert my hook into the first loop of the first stitch I want to decrease. Insert my hook into the front loop of the second stitch I want to decrease. Yarn over, draw through both those loops, and yarn over to complete a single crochet. It makes a nice, tight decrease. Doesn't get as lumpy as the yarning over, pulling up, yarning over, pulling up. It becomes more like a half double crochet in the end, I always thought. So the invisible decrease is beautiful. It makes nice lines. Invisible increases are nice too when you're trying to really hide some stuff in there and make it just more smooth. Okay. Almost there. And then it's time to stuff mine. So it's going to take a little bit of fiber fill and just kind of fluff it up a little bit. You could use yarn scraps. You could use any number of things. Some people use like poly pellets. I guess you could make a poly pellet. It'd be pretty heavy. But just tuck all this in here. You don't want it, I don't like them too tight, but you don't want them to be baggy either. So yeah, it's a little spongy. But got a little bounce to it. Okay. And now I'm going to single crochet 2 together all the way around, which is an invisible for me. I do the invisible decreases. It'll be 8 times. I'm not even going to bother putting my marker there. A lot of people don't use markers. I tend to rely on them because I'll set things down and come back to them and not, So sometimes I don't, like on small little bits, like maybe on the wings coming up, I might not, but usually I try to use a marker. Some people are like, I can count just fine. I can. I just can't guarantee I'm not going to set this down. All right. And this is my 8th one. And that's it for this. So I can cut this off. We're going to finish it off, right? Snip. And it comes with a funky little needle, but I'm going to opt for my regular bent needle for this. And I don't need that anymore either. So I just go in and out like this around these posts. And one more. And then you just cinch it up, right? And then I'll go right through the middle of it and just pick some random spot on the body. And I like to, because I am personally rough with stuff and like to manhandle things and toys and fidget with things, I like to stitch a couple in there like this to kind of course it's tight, but there you go. And then I'll just weave this inside right from there. And that should be good. Okay, so there's my little penguin body. Just set that there for a minute. And now we are going to move on to the wings. So again, body color. Yeah, I don't think I do that. I don't think I do use a round marker on this. I just do 4 and then count up to what, 12? Right? hope that's right. So I do not use the, yeah, I do use the double magic ring, I guess. Sometimes it makes it a little bulky in there, but I'm not that terribly worried about it. So I got my 4, pull your string, take that shorter loop, give it a good tug, lock it in. I hate it when it bags open is what it amounts to. So now I want to add just 8 more stitches. So no need to mark it. But to find it is not always easy. Okay, 1. This is 2. 3. You gotta make 4, 2 of these. 4, not 4 of them. 5, 6. Because they have 2 wings, 7, and it's persnickety to me to do these tight ones, but it's worth it. Do a quick little clip there. And we're going to set this off to the side for a minute, but this is what your little wing looks like. Just like that one right there. Okay. So one more little wing here. And if you're joining on Facebook, like I said earlier, I don't see your comments on Facebook, unfortunately, right now, but I welcome you and I can see them later on. So this is our second wing that we're starting on here. And that's 4. And then again, because it's a double magic ring, pull the short one tight. And I'm going to do 8 more stitches. Not easy to start these ones. Okay. 1 and 2. 3. 4. 5. 6. And 2 more. 7 and 8. Okay, and then I'm going to set this wing off to the side also, and we will come back to that in a couple minutes. Okay, so that's done. Let's move on to our next one, which is our feet. Okay, I don't need any more purples. I'll move that out. We're going to do 2 of these too. These are real simple. These are just a quick magic ring, but we are not going to like join the ring close. We're just going to kind of pull it so it creates kind of like a fan effect. So magic ring. And I always do the double. I don't think I ever don't. As much as I think I don't. So it says to start with a chain 2. So we got a chain 2, double crochet, treble, which is yarn over twice, double, chain 2, and then slip stitch back into the ring and pull your ring tight. Okay, and that is one little footy, and it'll make kind of a dome shape. I use that dome shape to kind of give it stability on the bottom of the foot. So let's see, kind of domes just a little bit. So that'll be down, and the round part will be up on our penguin. So that's the first one. Let me do one more of those. If yours doesn't dome, I don't know what to say. Mine does it. Maybe I crochet too tighter. It's very possible. But I think it'll do that as long as you tighten down that ring. There's my treble. Here's my double. Chain 2 and slip stitch. Okay. All right. And that is it for that. We'll set that one off to the side as well. So now I have 2 little feet. Ah, the face. This is the fun part. Okay. We're going to start with a chain 4. Let me see, where's my yarn begin here? So start with a chain 4, and we're going to begin in the second chain from the hook. We're going to do 2 single crochet in that first one that we do, 1 in the next, and then 2 in the last one. We should have 5 stitches. It should give you kind of a little shapey do there for that. Okay. Then rounds 2 through 5, we're just going to single crochet. So you're going to chain 1 to go up on that, because these are rows. I did not write chain 1 on there. I apologize. Chain 1, turn, and then you're going to do 5 single crochets. You're going to do that every time here through round 5, row 5. Okay, that's 2. And I'm using that sparkly yarn to give it a little something extra. This is 3. Okay, 4. And 5. Okay, chain 1. We're not going to turn this time. We're going to go all the way around the edge here like this. So just start single crocheting around that. Just make it look neat. It doesn't have to be a specific number. You could crochet over this tail end as you do this too. It doesn't matter, because you're going to have a leftover when we're done here anyways. Sorry about my dog. You see someone in the road. And he's a little dog, but he doesn't think so. That's how they are though, isn't it? That's all little dogs are. So on this end bit, you only have 3 there. So do 3 there. Just gently go around this edge. And when we get to this other side, over here, I might add an extra. If it starts to turn too much on you there, give it a little extra stitch so it doesn't just fold up on you, There's no real rule to this. It's just whatever works. I'm going to add a second one in that same spot there. We're getting a little bit of a curl. And that's the fun thing about crochet. It really is just that simple to fix it. All right. Now, we've gotten back up to the top. So we're going to slip stitch right up into this here. Right there. Beginning of row 5. Slip stitch. Chain 1. You're going to skip this one and that one that you just slip stitched in, obviously. And you're going to skip the next one. And you're going to do 5 half double crochets in that 3rd stitch. It's going to, trust me, it'll work. It'll create kind of a scallopy look. So that's number 5. Then I'm going to slip stitch into the net, into that same one, right? To kind of close it in like this. And then, what do I say? I can't read this. I'm going to 5 half double crochet in the very next stitch to create the next eye. Sorry about that. 3, 4, and 5. And we're going to slip stitch just in that very end to kind of lay that eyeball down like that. See the kind of, it's not a lot of the shape, but it gives you a little shape there to the eye. And I kind of give it a little bit more as I sew it. With this, cut, I don't know, 2 feet, 18 inches, 2 feet, about 2 feet. I cut enough so that I'll have a lot left over, but I don't care. I like to have a little extra. Okay, now at this point, we get to assemble everything. So here we are with our little guy. And I got eyeballs to do this with. These are not the ones that were supplied with the kit. I've already used those and I glued them in. That's another option. Again, if you're making for small children, you can glue them as well, but it depends. I use E6000, 5000, whatever. I just recently got B7000. It's a lot smaller. Has like a needle type tip, so I can really just dab it in the tiniest of little places. Okay, so now I'm going to put in my eyeballs. And this one has a little bit bigger eyes than the ones that came in the kit, but it's still the same penguin, and he's still just as adorable as ever. And you could move it, I guess, if they're too big. I like it. I think it's cute. It's kind of a little derpy kind of penguin face. So then tighten those on there however you can. And I have eyeball thingy to help me out because these are not easy for me. They used to be back when I was younger and stronger. All right, second eye right here. Okay, and like I said, these ones are slightly bigger. These ones are probably like a 6 millimeter, and these ones are like a 9, so they're a little bit bigger. Gives them kind of a little derpier look, and I like it. I like it. I think he's cute. So what did I say to do here? I said use a length of yellow to create a beak. We could do that. So let's take a little bit of yellow yarn and a needle and look at your little penguin face and determine where you want his little beak to be. And I'll show you where I put mine. You can agree, disagree. It's your penguin. Do whatever you want. Don't like my style of beak? Change it up. You have the power. Okay, that looks pretty good, I think. What do you guys think? Just a little kind of derpy little beak in there. Let's see. It's a derpy little beak. I like it. Okay. So, and these don't have to be perfect. If you're looking for perfection, you probably picked the wrong craft. You know, my mom is a potter and their stuff explodes. So I guess I shouldn't complain. They might have gotten all the way through something and then the whole thing comes apart. So, all right. So there's my little penguin body and penguin eyes. And here are my actual penguin body. So I take the end that I finished on to use as the bottom because this looks a little neater on the top. And you just kind of find a spot for them and stitch them on. This is going to be a cute little purple one. So right about there, maybe. And just go around the edge, securing it down nice and tightly because you don't want someone to pull it off while they're playing with it. I don't know that that would happen, but I don't know. Maybe. Put a little here. Gotta get my arms in there. See there. So you get that little look to the head there. Alrighty. And we're getting there. All we got to do next is put on a couple little wings, position some feet, and you will have a little penguin to not quite fly home with you. This is the tedious part of crochet. Usually when I design a pattern, I try to avoid sewing, but I wanted this to be a simple enough pattern for anyone to complete. And sewing is a skill most people have more than changing colors with crochet. So this worked, and I think it made a cute little guy. Tell me what you think in the comments. Do you like him? Do you think he's worth our time? I did an upgrade from the Dollar Tree version of Penguin that I had to alter and just could not make a face, it says. Okay. Alrighty. And these don't all have to be the same. You could change these up to, I don't know what else you could do with them. Obviously, colors are big differences you can make with penguins because you can do anything you want. I know they really technically are only black and white, but our imaginations aren't. So have fun. I'd love to see what you guys make. Tag me in your posts. All right. That is it for this guy. I'll pull that through here. I'll use this in a minute to find a spot to do with this in a minute. So here's our little penguin with his little pengy face. Next, I'm going to do the safety eyes bottom stitch wings. Okay, let's do the wings next. I'm doing it in the order I wrote it for you guys. So I want just a couple rows, like kind of even with the, just below the eyeball, kind of right here, about two-ish rounds back. It's where I kind of shove that center one. I'm going to put this here. And then I turn it because it has a natural kind of an edge to it. Like it could be arms up, right? Hi, I'm the penguin. Or because of the way it finishes off, it could be arms down. Which I do them arms down, gives them kind of a, like their waddling look. But it's your decision. You can turn the little arms any way you want them to be. So, let's see. You don't need a lot of stitches. What is this, 4 stitches? It's plenty. Mostly just make sure you secure these down good is your number one thing with little toys, because these little tiny bits, it can get kind of like, they can get ripped off, or, you know, they tend to get pulled on more, I think, because they're the little bits that stick out. Okay. Two more stitches in this one. I mean, there. Okay. Okay. That's one little wing on there. Get our next little wing on, and then it looks like belly and wings and feet. Okay. I think it started with feet, sorry. All right, and again, about, you know, 2 back and about kind of below the eye a little bit. And give them a little eyeball, see that they look the way you want. You could pin them. A lot of times I'll pin, but the kit did not come with pins, so I am not saying that you need them. A lot of times, though, as a person who's writing patterns, I pin them, I look at them, I decide whether I want them like that. Lots of thoughts go into it. Okay, just a couple more here. Okay, and my last stitch on the wing, and then we go work on our feet. We are almost done with our penguin, you guys. You should be feeling pretty accomplished. Okay, so there's his little wingies. Just a little dumpling. Okay, next is our feet. And remember, I told you, use the dome to create this kind of stable foot for them. So I am going to come right about here. Just pull it up the side. Okay, and that is how I want this foot. So it's not as scary as you might think. Promise. Crochet is not nearly as hard as anybody thinks. The hardest part is you. You are just your worst critic. I guarantee you. Every time you're just the worst critic. So let's see. That looks pretty good so far. I'll go one right in there. And the reason I pulled them back out here is because I am going to tie these to each other to knock them off inside, and then I will tuck them inside afterwards. So I'm doing the same thing here, making it so the dome is upwards, like you've cupped your foot like this to stand on it. About there, looks good. Just like that. Cute little dome toes. Okay. Man, oh man. I get excited when I get to the end of a toy like this. I really love watching these little things come to life, and I get a good amount of joy out of them, and especially seeing people when they receive things like this. Oh, I don't know why. It's just like they love it, and it makes me feel good that they're happy that they got something they wanted, or I don't know. It seems funny. This is the point where I get excited. I'm almost there. It's so cute. All right. That is my final sewing. Now, I don't like to sew in the ends either. So I have this. It's a 20-sided die with a stick on the end. I know the official purpose of it, but I use it for this. And it works perfectly because it is nice and small. So I could jump between those. I'm just knotting it, cutting it off kind of short like that. It gets in between the stitches really easily. So it's really nice that it does that. Pokes these right in there. I'll show you. I will show you how to get to knotting all this. So any second now, I'm going to have a little penguin, little purple lavender penguin to show you. I hope that you enjoyed this as much as I did. I hope that you don't get disheartened by Dollar Tree Crafter's Choice crochet projects. Look at the picture. If it looks like a real item, it's probably an okay pattern, is what I found so far, 100% of the time. So here's the fun part. I get to take this and I get to stab them in there, just like that. Boom, gone. And I didn't have to use any more sewing and stitching and pulling and cutting than I wanted to do. Nobody knows. There's nothing wrong with it because this is what I'm going to do with it anyway. It's just in a different way by sewing. So, okay. You ready for the big reveal? Here it is. Our little kinda, sorta Crafter's Choice penguin. Done in lavender. or in the colors that would have been in the kit, the black, the white, and the yellow. It's an upgraded version of this little guy, in my opinion, because he's cute. He's officially cute now. Remember, these were 9mm safety eyes, and these were probably 6mm. So you get a totally different look. Like, this guy looks a little frightened compared to this one, but they're both cute. So I hope you guys enjoyed yourselves this week. I'm going to go ahead and turn off our crochet view. And I'd like to invite you again. Tonight, we're not watching Labyrinth. That is next week. And you're absolutely invited to come to Labyrinth too. But this week, tonight at 4:30 Pacific time, we're going to be screening Jaws. And this is by vote of the people at the movie room for Mrs. Wilson. They voted on this. They had the choice of Jaws or Batman Returns. And the Cape Crusader did not win out this time. This time, it's Jaws. So in just about 2.5 hours, I'll be heading over there to the movie room to screen our Saturday night Jaws event. I don't know when I'll do another one of these. Probably I'm aiming for about every 2 weeks. This has been 3 weeks because I had a vacation in here. We can do another Dollar Tree one. If so, let me know in the comments. Please like and subscribe so you know when we're having new upcoming shows. Let's see. Can I switch this out to just me? There's just me. Please like and subscribe so that you can be alerted to upcoming shows. I don't know what we'll be making next. Why don't you guys give me some suggestions? I'm trying to stay small, little, fast, but I have some pretty fun patterns. I have some patterns that might take a little bit longer. So let me know in those comments. Hit me up on the socials. Find me in the movie room and follow Hooked on Crochet. Until next time, bye.